What's good, man? Rashi, man, what's goody? What's
Nothing
good,
much,
Rashi?
man. Trying
What's
to
up,
stay
my
away,
dog?
trying to stay 6 feet away from everybody, you know?
Yeah, that's a finesse.
Definitely. So, before we get too deep into the background and the culture and all that, because we could talk about battle rap shit all day. Tell me a little bit about where you grew up and your early life, like your neighborhood and stuff like that.
I'm from Harlem, New York, on the west side. Shout out Harlem. From Lenox Ave. 126 to 129. You know what I'm saying? It's a regular. Harlem is what people know it for. You feel me? Some make it for whatever you want to paint it out to be, but it's a home. It's a home you could call a home at the end of the day. You feel me? No matter what the age. So it's different things. You got people that try to steer you in different type of directions. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what direction you want to go in. Everybody not nice at the same shit. So
right. So what were some of the things that influenced you from like your neighborhood? I'm pretty sure there was like fashion and, you know, because we live in New York, so Harlem is one of those places I remember going for fashion. Like, so, like, what were the things that influenced you, like your style, like who you are?
Well, for one, my cultural background is Ivorian. I'm West African, so like a lot of people know Harlem for like African place and stuff like that. You feel me? My culture really came from home, more to say how Harlem helped it out because it had like different, you know, music areas and shit, like paintings and that told stories and stuff like that. As a young kid, I didn't really understand it, but when I got a little older, that's when I started to like depict things for myself. You feel me? And then for me, it was easier for me to like figure out what it was. I was always nice at music and like growing up. I ain't saying school wasn't the work, but that's what I was nice at, and writing and shit. So it was just like if I was gonna do anything, I wanted it to associate with that.
So when you first started doing music, how did that even come about? Like, what was the whole idea of you just started writing? Was there something specific you were listening to? Like, how did that?
No funny shit. At the time that I started listening to rap, G was out. You feel me? There's a lot of 50 Cent rocking and shit. So I was listening to like, that's how I started out, listening to 50. And from there, it was set. Like, cause I noticed like how everybody would gravitate to like the music in itself, not just like the beat. You feel me? Memorize what the nigga was saying, like little shit like that. So once I clued to it and I started to listen to more of it was like, I want to do this. You feel me?
Right.
And at first they always tell you like, all right, 1 in a million people gonna make it, and this, that, and the third. So you gotta have your options open, and that's all. Like I tried all that. Like I played sports and shit. I played football. I tried out for the basketball team. I did all the like, you know what I'm saying? It was just, this is my thing. Like this was it. For some high reason, every time I made a song, as I was, cause bro, like when I first started making songs, of course they was coming out that trash. You know what I'm saying? Clearly,
That's how you start.
That trash, of course. Like you know, like I don't believe that anybody's shit or first hand came out immaculately perfect. Like I don't believe that. I believe that niggas fucked up along the way. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's the only way you gonna get nice at your shit or whatever it is you doing. You feel me? You don't gotta necessarily be music, but in the aspect of whatever your passion is or whatever you think you gifted with, that only depends on hard work and dedication that you put into it. So I know that niggas fucked up along the way from jump to wherever they at. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas never got it. They should just catch it. But I was determined, like, as it went on and I got critiqued by certain like people around me and shit, I started to like make something out of it. You know what I'm saying? And then came battle rap. But I was like, music always came first to me. It always like still does come first to me, but battle rap is more like my therapeutic.
So you mentioned sports. Like while you were while between you doing like developing your craft and doing sports, was there any other thing like say like jobs or hustling or you know what I'm saying? Like what was the
At the time that I was
support
playing sports, I didn't live in New York. I was living in Georgia.
Oh, okay.
I was with my pops in Georgia and shit at the time. So that was high school. You feel me? That was more like middle school, high school. So that's all I could do at the time was pick a sport and try to focus as much as I could in school type shit. You know what I'm saying? So the job portion didn't come until battle rap came actually. So that question does actually correlate with what happens after the fact when I get older. When I played sports,
do you remember?
When I played sports, it was just music. I was just playing around with it. My dad had bought me a studio for me. I was running wild, getting in trouble and shit. So I had to face a consequence that led me to stay in the crib for the majority of my educational time period. You feel me? So he bought me a studio to kill time.
So what was the process of you initially writing like your first rap? Like how did that come about?
Yo, I was in my uncle's crib, right, in Brooklyn with my moms and them. My mom's side of the family, which is Gregorian side, the African side. I mean, I speak French and I understand it too. So I'm actually bilingual, but that's beside the point. You know what I'm saying? I was with that side of my family. You feel me? And like, you know, you like, I'm like what, 8 years old, maybe 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, maybe. Like, and I'm just playing around like with words type shit. You feel me? And the family, you know, they gonna turn you up because you the kid. Like, to them, you don't really,
that's fire.
Yeah, like to them, they like you don't really want to do this for real. You know what I'm saying? Like you just playing around right now. Like fuck it. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna hype you up. That's you know what I mean, bro. Like every family got that one person like that's gonna hype you up even if you're not serious. Like. You know what I'm saying? Just to make you feel good as a kid type shit. My family is that.
That's love.
So they you know what I'm saying? They hype me up and shit. And then in that same moment of that same time period, I walked in the kitchen of my own crib and started thinking of my own shit. And that's when I wrote my first rap ever. I don't even remember what I said to this day because I ended up, you feel me? The transformational time period, but it was like I know that I would never forget that shit. Like that was the first day I ever wrote my first rap ever.
So what's your? I had to be an event.
Yo, I said it to my mom, yo, and her reaction was like, "Yeah, I think I would do this."
So what was what's like your medium? Like what do you use? Paper, the phone, tablet, your mind, like. I know we use a mix of both, and like people.
Yeah, as I was coming up, I was using paper, like a lot of notebook and like penning it. And then once I started getting phones, it was over because I realized I could write in my phone, so that means I could write anywhere I am. I didn't start getting my phone till I was like when I was living with my pops here in GA. He bought me my first Android. Because I couldn't write in my iPod at the time. I didn't have the iPod that you could write in yet. You feel me? So once I got that, that's when I started writing in that. But even that wasn't like something that I was writing in. That was more like reminder shit and shit like that. You feel me? I was still stuck to the pen and paper at that time period. I'm the oldest out of all my family members, by the way. Forgot to mention that.
So at what point did you decide? So you pretty much were like, yo, I can rap. Where did the name come in? Like, at what point was it like, this is what I'm doing?
I went through mad names, bro. Like, yo, when because I went to school in Africa at some point too. But by the time I started going to school in Africa, I had already figured out that I wanted to do music already. So by that time, it was already in my mind, like, this is what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do anything type shit. I didn't know how exactly I was gonna do it. I didn't know the hardships of it yet. I just knew that this is what I wanted to do. So once I had to go to school out there, it was like, I need a name now. I didn't have no name. You feel me? And my older cousin was the one that gave my first name. What he called me? I think it was J Wavy or some shit like that. Facts.
Not a bad name.
And because I was like the only American cousin he got, you feel me? Out of all his like family members, not all his family members, but the ones that was out there type shit. So all his friends, it was fascinating. Like, oh shit. So once I rapped, like I made a song with him and his friends, and that shit went viral out there. Like in that small little neighborhood. You feel me? That's when I learned what being local was. From that point, like that's when I realized, like, damn. So if people that only know you in that one place,
so you were like a local artist back home that people recognize,
right? So and because I'm the only American one out the group full of people that speak French, that's rapping in French, it's shocking to people. You know what I'm saying? So it was that shit was that, and I came back. I went from J Wavy to Swisher to Swisher. Yeah, because around that time that's when I started smoking bud and shit. And for some odd reason, my creativity only takes me places that sometimes I shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? So that name was kind of like, huh? But because I could rap, people wasn't necessarily wasting their time too much on my name for real.
Right. So with you actually mentioned the whole Swisher part, and like smoking. Like what other vices did you end up like engaging with? I know like when you go to these events, there's like alcohol and pills and everything else.
Boom. At the time period that I had that name, I was still living in Georgia, so battle rap wasn't the factor yet. I started watching it though. That's when I started watching it. Once I hit high school, my best friend Malaysia was addicted to battle rap, but it was like I didn't like I knew about it, but I didn't really know. Like I knew about back when niggas used to pull up on each other type shit and have 100. You know what I'm saying? I knew about that because I heard about it, but I never seen it for myself. So when she brought it up to me, she brought up Sean. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch it, and I started watching it, and then from there I was hooked. Like, oh yeah, this shit is lit. Like this shit is fire. Like, oh, all right, bet. So from there I'm still a fan. You feel me? I moved back to New York. I end up going to Job Corps. Get out of Job Corps. I get kicked out of Job Corps. I come back home, and then I go to GED school. My mom signs me up for GED school. Now at this point I'm like 17. Yeah, I'm like 17. Yep. I ain't even hit 18 yet. 17. You feel me?
But you didn't start drinking yet or none of that?
Nah, I was smoking still, but it was at a lower pace than it is now because I'm older. But like I was smoking still. You feel me? I wasn't doing like no drinking like that because I didn't really like alcohol too crazy. Like I seen what it did to people. You feel me? That was before, of course. You know what I'm saying? But like at that time period, I just wasn't about like alcohol. I just stuck to what I like just mellow with, which was weed. So it was cool with me. Once she signed me up for school, because I couldn't do it like at 17 in New York, you couldn't sign yourself up for school. You needed a parental guardian to do it. So she did it. Once I turned 18, everything was in my hands. You feel me? Boom. I hit 18. I want to battle rap. Now at this point, I'm a fan of Dot Mall and shit like that. You feel me? Because when I started watching it, Sean was Dot Mall. He was wilding too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was my favorite nigga to watch. Like, so, boom. I decide I end up running into damn bars in the street in Harlem on 2/5. Boom, we chopped it up, exchanged numbers. Yeah, you feel me? I met Gaddafi Green after that. And then once I met Gaddafi, I had my first battle. And we go hard. 2014. May 22nd.
So between the time when you had the buzz back home and the first battle, what type of music were you listening to at that time? Like, who were like the influences that developed the way you structured your style?
At the time, I ain't gonna front. I don't know if you remember, that's when Chief Keef started wilding with the drill shit.
Right.
The other niggas like Lil Durk, Rondo Number 9, and them started wilding with the drill shit. So I was listening to a lot of that on top of listening to New York shit like Jada. You feel me? Dan Balls had some shit out at the time. I was listening to Surf, a lot of Surf actually. Hitman, like battle rap shit. You feel me? If I listened to anything else, it would have been like Jewels, Santana, some shit. Like it was a mixture of things, like Future. Like I had a lot of shit I was listening to. So with all that, the only thing that made STACCZ was me. Like me, like as a person, like that's what made my battle rap style. Because it was like I was quick to attack to everything when I first came. I was always on attack mode. Like I didn't know the difference between, he's just talking for the sport, but and he was talking to actually tell you what you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know the difference at the time. I wasn't trying to hear all that shit. So
right.
my style became aggressive. I didn't have no name to it yet.
Okay. So you were listening to pretty much underground artists. And right after that, you went into the battle scene. What was the most difficult aspect, like from that transition of writing songs and, creating music to going into the battle zone?
You mean like how did I transition?
Yeah, what do you feel was the most difficult transition? Because when you go into the battle scene, there's all these criterias and terminologies and things that people look for that make you I guess like a factor when it comes to whether you are accepted as a good battler or not. And you have to build those things. So which ones do you feel like were the most difficult for you?
I tapped back into music around like 2015, middle 2016, and it wasn't hard for me because that came first. So like once I got a hold of what battle rap was, you feel me? It was like, all right, this is easy. This is without a beat, and I can still do my thing with this. Because there's what people fail to remember sometimes is there is a large difference. You feel me? There is a large difference. Like, there's a difference between, like, all right, boom. You can't write a song like you yelling at somebody.
Right.
Nobody's gonna see you performing in the booth as you're visually making these pictures of people like you would in battle rap. So it was free, like boom. It was as free as not being signed. So like, if you think about it, you know what I'm saying? It's as free as not signing a 3.
No, that's not.
Think about it. They say when you sign that, you don't got no control of your shit, which is a fact. You know what I'm saying? But in battle rap, you got control of your shit. In music, if you make the wrong move, you don't got control of your shit. But you do if you know that you as independent in battle rap as you could be in music. So once I realized that I could do both, and I can't be told what to do, I could juggle it because I was already nice at the first one. You know what I'm saying? I hope I ain't confuse you. Like,
no,
that shit was a lot of words.
No, you make sense. So what would you say is your core skill sets? Like, on some of these leagues they have like specific attributes like aggression, wordplay. What would you say is your?
I would say mine would be aggression, grittiness. Well, yeah, I would say grittiness, gulliness. That's another attribute. So it's 2 separate attributes. You feel me?
Right.
Performance. And I don't know if they can add intricacy because I see a lot. Sometimes they put unorthodox. But yeah, I would say that. And I'm getting nicer at certain things. So, but for me, in the past, about to be 6 years in another week, I've seen that those are the things that stand out when you ask for stacks. On top of the influences that I got to be around when I got into battle rap. Feel me? So like I got to learn that with teams comes a lot more pressure depending on the team and depending on what legacy they're leaving or what run they're on at the time period that you get recruited. Every team got a ranking spot when you first get drafted. You know what I'm saying? So depending on what your team is and where y'all stand in that league or where y'all playing at, you gotta know it's go time. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be around good artists.
So what would you say is the pros and cons of being in a team or like a group?
Huh?
What would you say is like the pros and cons of being in like a team or like a group? Because clearly there's benefits. Are there like any negatives to that?
The only negatives I think could be is if there's misunderstandings amongst everybody. You feel me? But for the most part, everybody wants you to win. Wherever you were trying to go, I would hope. You know what I'm saying? I got to, like I said, I got to be in the graces of people that wanted me to win. So I ended up like finding new techniques in myself, learning how to do certain things better. You know what I'm saying? So it was easier for me, and then from there, I was cake rice.
Right.
At first, for me, and then like when I first did my interview with y'all, I believe I was cake rice. So, and with the help of hard work and dedication, you feel me? I am now in the graces of NWS.
Definitely. So what
blows, man.
What was the emotion you had of the first battle? Like when you first, like what does it feel like to be?
What's the feeling of like when you about to go on stage?
Yeah, like what, like you're about to get in front of your opponent, the battle's about to start. Like what? Describe
for me,
that.
I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I get that little like nudge and like the side of like my chest type shit. I get that small little nudge there. But that shit, it don't last, because once I get on stage, like, boom, if you watch my battles and you look at my facial expressions, a lot of the times that certain niggas be rapping, it tells you everything. Like, that shit tells you whether or not he talking shit and I want to listen to it, or he's just straight up wasting my time right now and I'm about to dog him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with the motion portion of it, before I get on stage, I get all that shit out. That was actually probably the reason why I started like adding the alcohol to the kit. But I learned that I can't do heavy alcohol. Like I can't do certain types with it. So I try not to play with it all the time. But if I know I am, I'm gonna go get something that I know I'm comfortable with, and I can still be on 10 to smoke somebody.
Right.
A lot of the time, no lie, I really be mad smacked. Like I be high as hell. It be the weed.
So how do you know? Because
even my writing process is tragic.
Okay, explain.
Like I like to say that I write with OCD. I know some people are gonna hear this and be like, "What?" But it exists. You know what I'm saying? And you're somebody that wants everything has to be it. As you go in, and I know every battle rapper go through this. As you go through your career, you learn that every line has to be it. Once the people want to see you, they want to see you for a reason. So clearly, the prep has to be what they're paying for. What you know what I'm saying? What you gonna do it for if you ain't gonna write your ass off? So a lot of the times, like a lot of my friends call me an alien because it came a time period where I could book a battle. Right now, we in May, right? I could book a battle tomorrow. Type shit. And as soon as I book it, I start writing for it. But the battle's not for 3 months down the line, though. You know what I'm saying? So it came a time period like where I was doing that shit consecutively, and then they fucked me up. But because like what I say that to say, like I got used to prepping so viciously that it was like, yo, I'm never gonna get beat if I'm writing like this. Like if I like that's what I was thinking. You feel me? And then it crashed. But then I got it back. So yeah.
So how do you know when you're ready to go on stage? Like how do you know like yo, I got it? Like this is
Yo,
it.
sometimes it depends on the battle I take, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, alright, if I take somebody that's going crazy right now, all it takes is for one person around me to look at me and tell me the wrong thing. Like if you like, all you gotta do is say I'm gonna lose to whatever extent. If I watch this individual and I don't get that feeling and you tell me that, I immediately feel insulted. So now, whatever I write, I'm gonna want to go on stage that day. So sometimes I be wanting to go as soon as I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Other times it's like I can wait. Then when I get there, like I said, I get that one feeling like, all right, it's time. That one deep breath moment. Feel me? Take that deep breath type shit. You get up there.
Right.
Because a lot of niggas, as much as you tell yourself you're not gonna fuck up, anything can happen on that stage. So, yeah. Some niggas let the crowd get to them, go up there thinking it can't happen to them, and it happens.
So, explain to me what, like, so clearly there's wins and losses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, once you get into the zone where, all right, I lost, I fucked up, or whatever, like, what do you review the battle? Like, what's the process that you go through after that? Like, do you analyze what you did? Do you know what it is?
Depending on how bad I fucked up, I might not even watch that shit. Because I actually had battles that I fucked up so bad where I know where I fucked up at, and I could be watching it with somebody, and they'll be like, nah, you wilding right now, bro. And I'm like, yeah, I'm about to get up and go that way. Because I don't want to, like, I had battles I've been choked in. So I don't watch those. I don't watch those specific parts. I'll probably like speed past them. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't even like to critique myself when I fuck up, because I fucked up. And it's like I know I'm great enough to not have done that. You know what I'm saying? So, but other times I make myself watch my fuck ups. Like, all right, what is this specific thing? Depending on if I hear it a lot from people, because a lot of my niggas be seeing the same shit to me a lot, and it's like, all right, let me go watch this shit, see what I told. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, once you do the people, like you say, people bring up things to you, like, once you have that moment, how does the crew, or, you know, like, your family, how do they help you? Like, do they give you any insight, or is it something you kind of absorb from what they're doing? Is it a scenario like, okay, this individual who's in the crew has a battle, let me see how he handles that situation? Or
it would actually be like, all right, boom, everybody was there to make sure that the prep was there. Because at the end of the day, when you were a team, you represent everybody on that stage. You know what I'm saying? When you going up there representing that name or that team that you playing for, you represent every player.
That's true. So, as far as like battles are concerned, do you consider it like a career, or is it like a side hustle, or like a main hustle?
I would think that the music and the battle rap thing is a career to me at this point, because I've been in it for, I would say, more than 2 years. Yeah, more than 2 years. You feel me? And I've grown a fan base with it. So at this point, this is what I'm gonna do.
And do you have a specific set of people that you already know that you want to battle, like your top set of people that you want to battle?
Yeah, yo, it's a couple URL niggas I'm trying to smoke.
So,
it's a couple niggas.
So how does that end up playing out? Like, does a league owner does it, or you go and track those down yourself, or you have a manager? Like, how do you execute it?
Oh, you mean like how does it work upon booking it?
Yeah. So like, what is your overall?
Well, for one, a lot of things play a factor with like getting certain names, and like work ethic is one. So I would like certain niggas in the industry we in, you would have to have an immaculate amount of alcoholic reasons for why that's even possible. You know what I'm saying? So in my case, the niggas that I want to see, I watch certain battles on the main stage and already envision myself. You feel me? Especially when you watching niggas that you want to kill fuck up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's easy for you to be like, yo, what I would do right there is, yo, you know what I'm saying? So that'd be my way of lining it up in my head. Like, I watch everybody. I don't believe in a lot of these niggas. A lot of the shit some of these niggas stand for is crazy retarded. You know what I'm saying? So I would to answer that question, I would say time's coming. You feel me? The time is coming very soon, and you're gonna get to see the first person that I want to tear apart.
So as far as like the music side of things, if you were to get signed like today, who would be your top 3 collaborations?
Top 3 collaborations as far as features, or
feature, like you would just want to do a song with this person.
Davies, Gunna, and Surf.
Okay.
Wait. Nah. Yeah, it'll be Davies, Gunna, and not Surf. Shout out to Surf, but not Surf. It'd be Davies, Gunna, and Nav.
Okay. Dope.
Yeah.
So as far as like the trajectory of the culture is going currently, do you feel like artists, like battle rappers, really make a good transition from, because this is has been a big stigma, right? Like, battlers can't make music, they can't make that transition. Like, do you feel like battlers can make that transition to music, or is it something?
Some can't. Some is just not for them. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, some niggas, it's just not it. Like, that shit is not. It's not it. I ain't gonna say don't try it, but hey, man, if it don't work, it don't work, man. But like, that shit not even broke for you to be able to say you can fix it at that point. That shit's just not it. Some niggas just don't want to like take that factor, but others can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you learn the difference and how to balance it and still make fire out of both, then you know your versatility is dead. Cause, you know what I'm saying? So that shit is that. But some niggas, bro, I could truthfully tell you, I've heard a couple battle rappers on the beat, and I'm like, why?
So how many battles do you have currently?
Yo, great question. So I see that coming too. I think I got I probably got 40 at this point, maybe. Facts. Probably 40 something. It's not 38.
So how many battles do you think it would take before you decided, yeah, I'm good?
Alright. I've come across that moment many times before. I've come across that before. Like the feel of not wanting to do it no more because of either I wasn't where I wanted to be, or like I was just smoking shit and I just was getting the same type of bodies. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a lot of things that make you sometimes look at this shit like, what the fuck? But the fans, people that believe in me, certain shit. You feel me? Believe in the gritty. Believe in the gulliness, certain shit. They won't let me quit, so I couldn't quit. Because as in the times that I wanted to quit, see, boom, a lot of the times that I write crazy shit, which is all the time, for the most part, like, it's when I go through some shit. But my baby mother pisses me off, he getting smoked. You know what I'm saying? Even if she doesn't piss me off, he getting smoked. But I'm saying, like, it's way a little bit more, 30 times more crucial than it was if I'm pissed off about something. Or if I'm going through shit. You know what I'm saying? So that shit plays a factor a lot in why I probably ain't let it go yet. Because like I said, it's like an anger management thing. So if I'm not doing this, I got music. So either way it go, I got something I can go to. You know what I'm saying? So it's,
right.
I don't recite my lyrics music wise like I would in a battle. It's not the same thing.
So how many rounds do you typically have? Because
right now,
and you mentioned this like when we started the conversation about the previous era of rap battles and battle rap, where people would literally just have bars. Just, I got 20 rounds waiting.
Yeah, that was back in the days when that thing was, when it was on DVDs, Smack DVDs.
But clearly people still have to keep writing now. Just
yeah, I know people.
You know,
I know
like,
somebody. I'm sure you're familiar with. You know, Bangs.
Yes.
Yo, Bangs is one of those people.
Right.
Yeah, he one of those people, bro. Bangs is somebody. Yo, I'm happy I got to meet this person, yo. Yo, that is what you call one of the most craziest lyricists in battle rap. This man has probably over 100 rounds somewhere, but it's all in his head. Like, while you sit there, like,
that was newborn at one time.
Yeah, yo, while you sit there and thinking your shit, go crazy, that, like, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna rebuttal everything you're about to say. He might not even say anything he had for you, if he had anything for you, and smoke you with a rebuttal. Like, that shit is so fire to me. So for me, it was bad because I got a little bit over myself and was like, yo, this is what you do. Like, you do this. Like, it got to a point where I was last minute prepping because I wrote so much. I would prep the day before and it worked sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And then I would prep, and when I went to New Orleans, I prepped on my way there and it didn't work to me like I thought it would. Like, that was the first time, you know what I'm saying? I had to sit down later like, yo, Sats, that can't happen no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
It's good and it's bad to have a lot. Because some people know what to do with it, and then other people just chance it, and then you have the people that just don't know what to do with it.
So how many rounds do you typically keep available? Like, oh, I'm in Philly right now. Artist at an event, no showed. Yo, Stack, I need you to pick this round, these 2 rounds up, this 1 round or something.
All right, so that's a great question because I've been in an aspect like that before, but it didn't necessarily go like I got the call. It wasn't like I called. You feel me? So because I write so much, like, to answer your question first, I probably have like 6 in my phone right now. Because 10 out of 10, the other ones got deleted because I didn't like them. Like I said, I have OCD when I write, so a lot of times I don't like it at all. I'm so some, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to feel like a hoarder in my own notepad, so that shit gotta go. But right now, it's at a nice minimum number of 6. But in a moment like that, like, what I did was I hit up the promoter myself. Originally, I didn't want to go to that event. My brother was like, yo, go. Like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know that Big Bro was gonna be there. Ain't no Sean was gonna be there until like hours before. So by like boom, I booked the battle at 11:59. By 12 o'clock, I started writing. I went to my man's crib. I started writing. I was writing for like an hour, right? Boom. By the time I got on my way to the event, because like the promoter kept calling me. So once he let me know what was going on, I'm like, I know what I'm gonna leave. On my way there is when I started memorizing everything. I know it sounds crazy. Like you're probably like, why would you do that, right? So I get in the venue, and now I just start smoking. My brother's like, yo, do you know your shit? I'm like, I think so. But I feel like I know it because I could read my notepad in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could see everything I wrote in my head. Like, right there, it's just scrolling. I just gotta, like, keep doing whatever it is I'm doing right now to keep me, like, chill enough to where I don't bug out so I don't slip a word. You know what I'm saying? So this is all the best technique ever. So now look, right? Boom. As soon as I memorize it, and it's time to rap, I just started going. Like, I just started going, bro. Like, that shit was just it. I had my twin, I had the rest of my family. I just started going crazy. And it worked for me. Worked. Like, that shit was
I've heard a lot about this recently, especially with drugs and twerk.
Some people can just do it, like, on the spot. Like, they can just, boom. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's like you have a round. It's not like you just came up with it, but you have it. But you don't know it, but you can.
No, but see, that, I actually freshly wrote it. That day, I wrote that from scratch. I didn't go pick, like, I didn't recycle shit. Nah, I wrote that shit. Like, from scratch. Like, at 12 o'clock that I booked it at 11. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, I wrote that shit that day, the day up. I swear to you. Like, that shit is, I cannot make it up, bro. It was, like, I'm going to send you the link later so you can see what I'm talking about. That shit was crazy, bro. Like, the way I just performed it out after a while, when I realized, like, yo, you know this shit. From there, it was like, boom! Like, you can't stop me now. Like, everything after this is just going to be it. You know what I'm saying? So once I got good with that, it was like, all right. And then I started seeing what I was nice at coming up with and shit like that. Everything else just became an open door. And like, I started doing different, like, shit in music where I'm rhyming differently and shit like that, you feel me? So in a sense, it kind of blends and it works if you know how to do it. Some niggas just don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas just goats with that shit.
Right. So speaking of like last minutes and no shows, as far as like the culture and the leagues are concerned, what's your opinion on just like the structure of it? Like, is there anything you would change about how leagues operate, how events operate? What are your main concerns?
I would say, like, I haven't been to every league in battle rap yet. Feel me? So, like, certain things I can just see from camera view. Other places that I have been, I would say, like, they have gotten better on, like, certain things as far as, like, making sure, like, crowds are at a certain volume, pace, and et cetera. You feel me? Security and things of that sort. So I can't necessarily say what I would change in every league, but I would say that promoters should do, for underground promoters, they should do a lot more homework on who's battle rapping. You feel me? Because a lot of people hit niggas up and don't even be knowing a lot of the times who they talking to. Sometimes. You feel me? And it came a time when I first came, whatever team you was with, that helped a lot of things, like, in your career, as far as even with booking. Because it seems like if promoters knew that you was with a certain group, they knew that if they book you and they pay you for a certain amount or this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? You could bring out this person, that person. So a lot of the times, like, it's the house you under that makes a difference.
So you feel like the league should definitely do their homework before.
Yeah, I think
booking.
the promoters should do a lot better as far as like who they trying to book and really look into these people. I ain't saying look into their personal backgrounds now. As far as they battle rap, like, you feel me? Placement and whatnot. Look into that a little better. Watch a lot more footage and this, that, and the third. So
how do you feel about the new emergence of like the apps and the streaming platforms and things like
I think
caffeine?
actually, I think it's different. It brings a new look to the culture. You feel me? Like, you could go on an app, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I be excited on the app, though. Like, I be wild excited on the app, bro. Like, I be OD hype watching these shit. Like, yo, this shit is lit. Like,
It is good.
Even the throwbacks be fire. Like, that shit's just fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like the app is very lit. It's different. You feel me? Bring a new thing to battle rap. Like, and plus, look at where battle rap is going right now. Who would have thought, right? Like,
True.
so like, shout out Caffeine, shout out Smack. You know who would have thought? Shout out Drake. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who would have thought that the mainstream would have fucked with battle rap so heavy? Like, look at who we got coming back. Like, J Mills, E Nash. You know what I'm saying? Like, Reed. And Reed doing better than Cassidy. Like, Cassidy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, 40 Cal trying to come, like, look at that.
There was an adjustment period, but he adjusted.
Yeah, King Los. Like, I just feel like they need to stay in their lane, like, stay over there with that shit. Like, we were a different type of, like, situation over there. Some of them respect that. Other, Cassidy's the only one that's lost, but, like, yeah, you feel me? That's,
so
that shit is
you mentioned the adaptation of some of the things you picked up in working on your music. So what projects do you have going on now outside of the battle scene?
I have 2 singles out on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, etc. One is called Do Not Disturb, and the other one is called Ivory Coast. I got a record with Rum Nitty out called Finger Itching. Y'all can get that on SoundCloud. I got a mixtape out on Dat Piff called Black Phoenix. Make sure y'all go get that too. And I got a video out, 2 videos out on YouTube. One's called Yola Chase, and the other one is called I Don't Fuck With You Niggas. But that one was shot like 4 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago.
So
like, I'm working on one now called Sticks and Stones. That one's gonna be crazy. Crazy.
All right, definitely. I'm actually going to check those out because I do a little music production myself.
No, that's right.
So
I think you would like some things on the tape. I'm working on an album too, but that's like I'm trying to see if I could like get in touch with some of the like littest producers, you feel me? Underground wise, that go crazy right now, and just get to work with them. I don't feel like a lot of underground producers sometimes get a lot of credit.
Right.
So I want to work with them as far as the album goes. But the tape gonna come out later on in 2020. Hopefully once all this bullshit is out the way, you feel me? Things will go back to regular. But yeah, I got a video coming out with them once all this shit is over. Like, you feel me? We gonna put that together and put that shit out. Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on, bro. It's a lot of shit.
All right, well, let them know where they can find you at. I appreciate your time.
Hey, man. Follow me on Instagram at Gully NWX Brazi. 2 C's in the Z. Not CK in the Z. 2 C's in the Z. BRASI. Feel me? Facebook, Stats NWX Brazi. Twitter, Brazi NWX 103. And you can find me on Apple, Spotify, by STACCZ Brazi, same shit. Feel me? Shout out MCO, Purge, NWX. Feel me? Go hard. You fucking lit. 100 Bars magazine. Thank you for having me. Goodbye.
Oh my God.
We're going viral.
Salute.